I remember that him and Keith would like turn on me in the car. They would just get me. They just knew how to like rile me up.
Yeah.
I remember the one thing was like, the word was misogynist. And I was like, you don't even know what that means, Kev, misogynist. And he's like, yeah, I do. I'm like, what does it mean? He goes, it means you're a bitch. Ah! And everyone starts laughing. Other black people start laughing and throwing their arms up. And you're like, and they make fun of you for like, oh, I'm Jay. I know words. Who gives a shit? And you're like, how am I the asshole here?
But now your child's an adult.
And now she's 20.
And what's your relationship like now? Does she come to shows?
Oh, yeah.
She does?
Loves. Yeah. We got to keep her. Louis J. Gomez, him and Dave, my partners, they just noticed since she was a baby, like a literal baby. So they're having a hard time being their gross selves when she's there. There's definitely been things she was there for. I was like, I wish she wasn't there for that. But for the most part, she's 20. I see her as 20. I still see her as a kid, if it makes sense.
Yeah.
But I also know her. The last time she was there, though, this guy named Byron, who was auditioning to be an intern, sucked his own dick on stage.
I hope he got the job.
He did. I remember looking over. My daughter and just being like,
was there.
and I'm like, well, point made, guys. I won't bring her anymore.
I'll ask her to dial it back.
Yeah, I'll ask her to maybe steer clear a little bit.
Were you a big gas station dick pill guy in your youth?
You know what happened? My girlfriend's like into chicks.
Yeah.
And not to have a humble brag, but
sure, please.
With her, we were able to get like a quality of girl that I wouldn't have tried myself for.
Of course.
And it was working.
Yeah.
And then I found myself getting nervous in those situations.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You bring back a monster, I don't need anything. I'm like, I know this dance.
I get that though.
You know what I mean? Like I know. So I start being. I'm like, they're already gonna be like,
wow.
As I peel off layers, they're gonna be like, oh,
yeah, yeah.
I go, then I can't come with a softie on top of it. So it was like, I don't think I had any medical issue. I think it was just like a thing. Like,
too hot. Your dick didn't believe in itself.
So yeah, that's when I was taking those.
Too much pressure when you're fucking a 10 with your girlfriend.
And I'm saying when the girl comes in, she's like, fuck, I'm like,
because you're also embarrassing her at that point.
If
you don't dig her down, she's like, come on.
Dude, Soda would love that so much. Because the awkwardness of it, I go, one thing I have not mastered in any way is cool in that scenario.
Yeah.
So the girl's always got to start, and then I don't know what to do.
Right.
So like I go, I've done everything from like, the best example is went and filled ice trays. Just busy work. I'm just doing busy work.
Yeah.
And then when it gets to a bed, is the best part is like, you know, you hope they start kissing, and then I do the Burt Reynolds next to them. You just lay like this, and you go, "Let me know whenever."
Yeah,
like,
tag me in.
There's no way to.
Ooh. You're waiting to be tagged.
Me and my girlfriend now, Christine, have been together for a long time, like 11 years now. And when we first started dating, we were sitting on a stoop in New York somewhere. Just kind of, again, it's very early. It's that like, you know, you're touching shoulders, everything's still like smiley and adorable. And I was like, I gotta ask, like, have you ever hooked up with any other comics? And she was just like, oh yeah. She goes, this is gonna make you laugh. And like she says the person, it's the name doesn't mean it because he's not really around much anymore. But like she was just like, isn't that funny? And I was like, ha. It was like a thing for the next 3 years of always. Like you couldn't get past it for so long.
Of course. I think the older people they learn not to do that. All my friends that like date now that are like older, late 30s, 40s, they go like, I figured out not to ask anything.
Oh yeah.
I can't control it. It's just going to upset me.
Also, as time goes on and how short life is, you really get like, I remember when I was younger, if they were like, you date a porn star? Like, I would never be able to deal with the jealousy. I'm like, can I date a retired porn star? Like, probably. Who cares? Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
Well, everyone's seen her fuck. Like, sure.
So what? Yeah.
I've seen Jennifer Lawrence with a load on her face. I'll still go see her in a big budget movie. Like, the world's changed.
But tell the story about what you were about to tell, because it's just too funny.
Oh, about one-up liars in your life. Whatever you tell, you know. Wow, man, I just had my first threesome. That's cool. It goes, I actually hooked up with 4 chicks once at the same time. Like that guy.
My favorite guy. Yeah.
And we found this out about a guy who worked for Louis on his Louis J. Gomez on his street team when he was selling tickets and doing shows. And one night we decided it was me, Nate Bargatze was there, a couple of other Lewis's guys, Dave Smith and me, and we went to a bar after their show, and we're like, let's all just tell crazy stories.
Like outlandish.
They're outlandish for us already.
Yeah.
And let's see if he goes up there. I don't remember every one's except the few where I told that I mean, I even made it so like cartoonish. I'm like, yeah, I was down at the docks one day and 25 guys tried to fight me. And I was like, I didn't like win, but I was able to like get out. Like I was able to fight my way through. He goes, dude, the South Street Seaboard Dogs, because I had a fight down there. It was like 30 guys or something. It was something nuts. He's like, same thing though. He's like, I didn't like kick ass, but like I did get away.
Always some asshole.
And then it was like, you know, someone fucking so many girls. He fucked a few more. You know, he had like a 7-some for someone else's 5-some and whatever. And Nate Bargatze, he was quiet almost the whole time, almost like a mystery guy in the shadows. He goes, I killed a guy once. And this guy goes with his drink. He goes, dude, he goes, I gotta take a piss. He goes, don't tell a story. He goes, I killed a guy too. Walked off. Don't tell that story yet. I'm gonna take a piss, but I killed a guy too.
Hold that thought.
I'm also responsible for murder.
On my special, I talk about a horrific threesome that happened to me, and for the most part, they are bad. But
those are the fun stories.
Yeah,
I've never told a story of a successfully wonderful.
No, you can't.
Threesome
No one wants to hear
or something.
that.
Yeah, no, just like we know the girl came over.
We had
a girl come over one time and get like cross-faded, I guess.
Yeah,
like she was already drinking. She was fine, and then she got there. I was like smoking weed, and she goes, "Oh, I'll smoke some weed," and then she just smoked weed and stared at us and didn't respond. Then we sat on a chair. Her eyes eventually closed, and we just slept on the couch, like staring at her in that chair all night. And then we fell asleep, woke up to a note.
What'd the note say?
Sorry, got cross-faded.
Yeah.
Want to try again tonight? And we were both like, sure.
Yeah.
She came back that night, and then we started fucking around, and she got on top of me. Mm-hmm. And I've never had this before, ever. The second she got on top of me, she goes, oh, you gonna come? You gonna come? And I was like, yeah, like eventually.
Yeah.
She goes, that's my thing. I like to see if I can make guys come like in under 2 minutes. And I was why?
Yeah.
And then she goes, it's just like, you know, a thing like that. So then like, everyone kind of stopped doing everything. And I was sitting there with a boner and a condom. We started talking. And as she's talking, I'm just looking at my wiener, just like it's doing the bounce down though, where it's like,
yes, of course.
And I remember just sitting there, and I go, if my wiener hits my leg, I'm going outside to smoke a cigarette. Yeah. And it was just like that. Whatever she said, went boop, and I was like, well, I'm gonna go, smoke a butt, and come there. And then I think she like left shortly after. And it was like, it was 2 nights wasted on that.
That's
situation.
wild.
Who introduced the taser?
What? We have it in the podcast, but
it's
Ian
just
got
part
it
of the
in
show.
Ohio. Yeah, we use it a lot.
Yeah, I got someone to drive it to me from Ohio.
Do you want to do it?
You can't buy one in New York?
You can on the street. But
I think you're playing up the taser, to be honest.
do
Can I
it.
just
Try
say it?
it.
I
Did
think
you
it's
do it
fake. No, I'm not gonna do it.
try it. Jay, try it.
Go ahead,
I'm a
Sagalo. He
bitch.
said you. Go ahead. Remember
do it
from
right
before?
now. It's not bad. I just did
I'm
it.
a bitch.
I'm a woman.
All right, Jesus Christ. No. You know what? No.
You did it before.
I'm not doing it.
Oh, you didn't do it before?
Anyone who wants to do it, feel free. But, I will fight for your right to tase yourself, but I will not tase myself.
God bless
Do I have to say the speech also? No. I am a free man living in a free country.
Pam Anderson, when I was 13, I had got the Playboy. I remember she was wearing a cowboy hat on the cover. I was such a little 13-year-old perv. I went to the Philadelphia car show to meet her. She was like a little, like, you know, the weird thing. And a 13-year-old fat kid just hands this grown woman a picture of her own pussy. And I go, here. And she goes, oh my God, how did you get this? And I went, huh? And then she just signed it and gave it back to me. And I'd love to apologize to her for that at some point in life. Like, that must have been awkward as hell.
You can do it now. You can apologize to her now.
The 13-year-old is giving you a picture of your own snatch. Bonfire, the Sirius XM show with me and Robert Kelly now is live.
You have a podcast with R. Kelly is the first thing I thought was hilarious. Like, this fool got a podcast, R. Kelly, Bonfire.
Robert Kelly's a brilliant comic.
He's
you know Robert Bobby is? Bobby Kelly?
No, because he was bringing him up. I'm like, it's not R. Kelly. I know that.
But what was so funny was when that first season of that documentary series came out, how much they said like they called him Robert Kelly. Like I had him come on. It was before he was my co-host. Like he came on as a guest with me and Dan Soder, and I held him to the flames over. I was like, the bit was obviously, he's like, dude, it's not me. I go, well, explain this. And it was like, and that's when Robert Kelly stole my 12-year-old daughter and started having sex with her. I go, sounds like they're talking about you, Robert Kelly. It was also good because at one point in life, he doesn't care now because it's like he's past that point. But there was you see the change in people's names as they get older. Like I remember Bill Burr was Billy Burr for the longest time, and then Bobby started to get like a hung up thing at one point about like it's Robert Kelly, not Bobby Kelly. And so you're like, okay. So like, when sticking to that, you go, okay, Robert Kelly.
Gotcha.
Why do you fucking pee on children?
Oh my God. I had sex with a Muslim man who came in through my window the other day. How do you feel about that? It was an Aladdin scenario.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Did he bring his tiger?
He didn't. He brought his monkey though. Thank God. Thank God.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah. And an Arab guy came through your window. Is that true?
Yeah, I did. Because I didn't want my roommates to know I was having sex, so I was just like, can you just come around the back of my house? And I opened the window and he came in there.
Are your neighbors 9/11 survivors or something?
Good question. I would have thought they would have been triggered by coming in through the window like the planes did. But no, I just didn't want them to, it's just, I don't want to walk out and have them be like, ooh, you know that feeling?
Why?
I should move out is what I should do.
Yeah.
It was weird. It was very strange. I've never had that because he came in. My bed is right there, so he came in the window, and then we just had sex on the bed, and then he left. It was very like
a vampire. Like you invited him in.
Yes, like a delivery
Were you
driver.
guys loud, or they just think you were like doing
I
a
am
racist impression and masturbating?
Dude, what's crazy is he was like,
it's happening.
Bunga, 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 bunga.
Oh, Jordan.
He went,
oh, Jordan.
That's hilarious.
I used to come home from school, and I said, because my buddy gave me his magazines, I had a ton of porn magazines. What I did was, it was a telescope box, pretty big box,
yeah,
and it's covered with 3 stacks all the way up, and the box is like stressed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like it's coming. And
We all are.
And my little brother was like maybe 2-3 years old at the time, and me and my friends in high school thought it was the funniest thing to show him the pictures and be like, "Hey, Bobby, big tits." That's big tits right there. And we make it funny, make him say that. And I remember sitting home with my family one night. My mom and my stepfather were there. My little brother was like playing on the floor. We're watching a movie on HBO. I think we had just gotten cable too. And there was a scene on where there was like nudity in it. And my little brother just looks up. He's like, big tits. And my mom was like, what? He's like, big tits. Almost like it was like a dog. She was like, what are you talking about, boy? He's like, big tits. And then just like a zombie while saying big tits, just walked up the stairs, like autistically, just saying big tits over and over again. Until he went and just stared at that box in my closet. And my mom was like, big tits? And he's like, big tits. She touched that box. That was so fun. And it just, watching it like kind of go up the stairs, I was like, what are you doing, Mom? This is like crazy. It just rained porn magazines. I was just laying there while they were just falling out of the, 70 magazines just falling out, just hitting my mom and raining on. I was like, is that where those were? I had to be like, oh, big tits. I do get it now.
Sick outfit, dude. Sick outfit.
He likes the outfit.
Shut your emo bouncer looking ass.
We're dressed. We're dressed exactly the same.
You look like a 1980s bad guy.
You look like a black guy who has teal suits and rides a skateboard.
You look like you take pizzas out the oven with no oven mitt.
You look like you're in a gang, but you still read comic books under a blanket with a flashlight.
Hold on, repeat that.
Woo! We're gaining heat here.
You look like you got caught in the drive-by with some magic markers.
You look like the guy from TM Dawn, and you know which one I mean.
Wow.
You like you hang out with Andrew Dice Clay, nigga. Oh, they don't get that one.
Oh, there you go. That's like a compliment. Oh, yeah? Well, you look like you hang out with Dave Chappelle.
That was fucking fun. That was fun.
That was
Hell
great.
yeah, dude.